Wooden rocking horse. The antique shop was a treasure trove of forgotten relics, each item with a story waiting to be discovered. Clara, a collector of oddities, was drawn to it on a crisp autumn afternoon. As she wandered the aisles, her eyes caught a glimpse of something tucked away in a dusty corner, a beautifully crafted wooden rocking horse. Its paint was chipped, and its once bright colors had faded, but it still held a certain charm. "What's the story behind this?" Clara asked the shop owner, an elderly man with a knowing smile. "Ah, that," he said, his eyes clouding over with a hint of unease. "It belonged to a little girl named Emily, many years ago. It's said to be haunted." "Are you sure you want it?" Clara, intrigued by the potential of a haunted artifact, nodded eagerly. She purchased the rocking horse and took it home, placing it in her living room as a centerpiece of her collection. That night, as she was getting ready for bed, Clara heard a faint creaking noise. She paused, listening intently. The sound was rhythmic, almost like rocking. She dismissed it as the house settling and went to sleep. The next morning, Clara found the rocking horse in a different position. She could have sworn she had left it facing the window, but now it was turned towards the door. She shook her head, thinking she must have moved it without realizing it. Days passed, and the occurrences became more frequent. The horse would be in a different spot each morning, sometimes even moving from room to room. Clara's friends laughed it off, suggesting she was playing tricks on herself. But Clara knew something wasn't right. One evening, as she sat reading in her living room, she heard the creaking again. This time, it was louder, more insistent. She looked up to see the rocking horse gently swaying back and forth, as if an invisible child were riding it. A chill ran down her spine. Clara approached the horse cautiously. "Who's there?" she whispered, half expecting an answer. The rocking slowed to a stop, and the room fell silent. Determined to uncover the truth, Clara delved into the history of the rocking horse. She visited the local library, poring over old newspapers and records. She discovered that Emily, the original owner, had died tragically in the house where the rocking horse had been found. Her parents, stricken with grief, had sold everything and left town. The rocking horse was the only item that remained. Clara's nights grew more restless. She began hearing whispers, soft and indistinct, like a child's voice calling for help. The rocking horse's movements became more erratic, and she often felt a cold presence watching her. One night, Clara decided to confront whatever was haunting her. She set up a camera in the living room, pointing it at the rocking horse, and sat in the dark, waiting. Hours passed, and just as she was about to give up, the temperature in the room plummeted. Her breath formed visible puffs in the air, and the rocking horse began to sway violently. The whispers grew louder, forming into discernible words. "Help me," they pleaded. Clara's heart raced as she saw a faint, ghostly figure of a young girl appear beside the horse. Emily's eyes were wide with fear, her translucent form flickering like a candle flame. Clara spoke softly, trying to calm the spirit. "Emily, what do you need? How can I help you?" The little girl pointed towards the basement door. Clara, feeling a mix of dread and determination, grabbed a flashlight and made her way downstairs. The basement was cold and damp, filled with old furniture and forgotten belongings. As she searched, she stumbled upon a small, locked chest. Inside, she found Emily's diary. The diary revealed a dark secret. Emily had been mistreated by a cruel governess who had locked her in the basement as punishment. The final entry was a desperate plea for someone to find her. Clara's eyes welled with tears as she read the last, heartbreaking words. Clara knew what she had to do. She contacted the authorities, and together they unearthed the tragic truth. Emily's remains were found in a hidden alcove in the basement, bringing closure to a century-old mystery. The governess, long dead, had never been held accountable for her cruelty. With Emily's story finally told, Clara arranged for a proper burial. As the little girl was laid to rest, the haunting stopped. The rocking horse remained still, its ghostly rider no longer seeking solace. Clara kept the rocking horse as a reminder of Emily, a symbol of the importance of listening to the whispers of the past. The house, once filled with restless spirits, was now at peace, and Clara's life returned to normal, forever touched by the presence of the little girl who had sought her help.